There's a resurgence of killer cases of COVID-19, and I know Chelsea, we're yet to ask you, fine, the best team did win there. I just want to know, has the money hit the account yet? Pesa imeingia kwa account.
Ama tusiwasumbue.
Yes, but anyway, revel in the winner there. Well, as Manchester United, we may not have sailed through, but hey, there's always another chance and another time to do it. I just wonder what Arsenal has to say in regard to that matter. Those are just some of the highlights of what has made it on the front page and also the back page of the Standard this morning. Jane?
Now let's have a quick look at what the People Daily have for us. Not too busy, at least for the People Daily. Two main stories here. Number one, panic as Raila's chopper crashes, and they've gone ahead to give the timelines. And of course, the main read is why Uhuru's Kisumu tour is a turning point, with huge expectations from many people. And you know, for many years, Nyanza region was viewed as a stronghold of Kenya's opposition politics, but the handshake between President Kenyatta and Raila Odinga has ushered a new chapter, and especially so when it comes to development. That is basically the front page of People's Daily this morning. Maybe you could have a look at the Star before we get to those details.
Yes, now interesting, the only story that is missing from all those other dailies that we have sampled, Jane, the Standard, the Daily Nation, as well as the People Daily, is that particular slogan that I started off with ITH with. Rastafari is spirituality and bang is our sacrament. Those are the words of the Rastafarian Society of Kenya President Lojon Agre, and this is during an interview that was conducted by this particular people that I'm sampling for you this morning. There's been a lot of debate on whether to legalize, you know, marijuana smoking in public places. Now, the Rastafari Society has been at the fore, saying that indeed this is a holy herb, and for them this is a sacrament. So we'll be giving you details as we continue in the focusing on stories that are making headlines in the last 24 hours. There's nothing new on this front page of the Star. Everything else has been mentioned, so we might as well get into the details, because that was the only missing link, other than just an update. You remember, some Kenyans were defrauded, Jane, in a Ponzi scheme, and investors have lost hundreds of millions of shillings. Now, if you had gone online, there was something called, or rather termed as, Amazon web worker.
Yes.
And it has been established that it is a Ponzi scheme that drained potential investors of millions of shillings. Now, the DCI made an arrest of a lady here who has been linked to the mastermind of this Ponzi scheme, and they go by the name Stacey Marie Parker Blake. Stacey Marie Parker Blake, who's been linked to the Amazon web worker. And this is after she was actually nabbed as she arrived from the United States of America just at the airport. I think the DCI is doing something, and I hope that this prosecution goes through. You can imagine you have made all those investments only for it to just go up in smoke. But then again, as Kenyans, we need to be a little bit more patient when it comes to investments. Nothing comes easy. So that is a follow-up that has found itself on the page of the Star. Now, maybe we can get into those further details. Jean?
That story has also been captured here on the Daily Nation and People Daily as well. And they went on to add the fact that Safaricom had actually managed to freeze some 42 million Kenya shillings that was being held in the app's pay bill account that they had put for people to send this money. You know, when they were promising clients, if you invest 37 shillings daily or 1,500 monthly, you will be getting 300 daily and 11,700, and you also get 351,000 Kenya shillings monthly for investments that are worth 100,000 Kenya shillings. So that investigations are still ongoing, mind you. And here on the People's Daily, they highlight that this woman in the Amazon scam is a revered U.S. consular. Imagine that. Stacey Marie Parker Blake. You can read more of that there on the People Daily and the Daily Nation. Now, let's go to this particular story concerning the the chopper that dropped former Premier Raila Odinga at Kudu Primary School, but soon after crashed in its attempts to take off. So looking at the timelines, the former Premier left Kisumu Airport at 17 minutes past 3 p.m. About, say, 15 minutes later, at 3:32 p.m., the chopper lands at Kudu Primary School, and Uhuru's chopper lands shortly after. At 3:58, Raila's chopper crashes in attempts to leave the school for Yala Township Primary School. So far, no one was injured, as per the information that we have. No one of the four that were on board the chopper as it was attempting to take off was injured. The captain said only one of his passengers, that is one Mr. Peter Mbeka, has been complaining of chest pains but is stable and waiting to be taken to hospital. So far, they have secured the scene and they are waiting for investigators, the aviation investigators to be specific, to come and make an incident report and try to get to the root of the matter and understand why this chopper crashed just minutes after it landed and was attempting to take off. So more of that is there on the Daily Nation as well as the People Daily. Ray.
I want to change this and look at matters of politics. Now, mainstream media focused on the coronation of National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi there. He was said to be the spokesperson of Mount Kenya region. Now it seems what is coming out clear is that Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West is pulling in different directions. Let me put this into perspective for you. East largely deals with Meru, Tharaka and the likes, while West deals with Kirinyaga, Kiambu and such. So now, just after, or rather coming in the wake of that particular coronation, is that Meru Governor Kiraito Murungi hosted, a couple of Mount Kenya politicians there last Saturday. Key Mount Kenya East key politicians, and this particular ceremony was dubbed as his homecoming. Now, it is in essence a second homecoming for him, because for the governor he had another homecoming when he was elected the second governor of Meru in 2017, and he's also had others in his political career, including when he was elected member of parliament. But what came out clearly is that the significance of this particular homecoming coming after the coronation of J. Muturi there. That's the National Assembly Speaker there, as the spokesperson of Mount Kenya region. Words unquoted by the Meru governor there, he says, and they've been adamant not to recognize the coronation of Justice Muturi there as the Mount Kenya region spokesman. And he says, go and tell them that we are ready to chart a new path. Referring to a team, basically Kikuyu politicians led by Governor Mwangi Wairia of Murang'a, Mutai Kahiga of Nyeri, Kinyanjui of Nakuru. They have been vehement in their denunciation of Muturi's new crest of glory in the region. So what does this mean for Mount Kenya region? A year to the retirement of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Quoted alongside Muturi is Peter Munya, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, who questions, and I put it as it is. I hear some people have been declared spokesman of Mount Kenya. Where is such a seat in the Constitution? Yes, that's a question that has been posed by Peter Munya, Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture there. And Mount Kenya East political class has been claiming that it has played second fiddle for too long when it comes to matters of politics. Is indeed Mount Kenya united or divided? That's a rhetorical question, but if you think that indeed we are divided or still singing the same tune, remember we are live and we welcome your feedback. You can reach us on our official Twitter handle at KBC Channel 1 News. What do you think with just 1 year to go when it comes to matters of politics within the Mount Kenya region? who will carry the day? Or rather, which side will carry the day? Mount Kenya East seemingly wants to pull in an opposite direction from the Mount Kenya West, having, or rather following the coronation of National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi.
Now, just to add on to a bit of what is happening still in the Mount Kenya region, as is here on the People Dairy. Woo! Hala, sijakula walu leo asubuhi. You know, when you eat waru, ndio unaongeanga na ulimi ikiwa inapepea. Now, Muturi says he backs move for the Mount Kenya party, right?
Yep.
Now, of course, his coronation is still something that is quite the conversation among the population. So it has continued to elicit unprecedented wrangles in the area, with the 22 succession politics taking center stage. So yesterday, while he was speaking at St. Paul's ACK Cathedral in Embu, he said that he backed the calls for some leaders from Mount Kenya East, okay? From the Mount Kenya East region to have its own political party for the unity of the region. He further on went to say that the push by a section of the local leaders to have a Meru governor, that is Kiraito Moronge. Excuse me, Kikuyu tongue.
You see, that's
Sijakula waru.
That's where we actually draw the line.
Sijakula waru.
Tafadhali. Kiraito Moronge. Bas.
Ah, yeah. I withdraw and apologize.
Thank you very much.
Meru Governor Kiraito Moronge to revive the party, that is the Party of National Unity, PNU, is something that should be considered seriously, because it is a good move that will ensure leaders in the area are united in one party. And these sentiments come a day after Kiraito and a section of leaders from the region threatened to walk alone if their Gikuyu counterparts fail to support them for the coveted seat.
It's a high time. I think there's a wind blowing. There's a wind blowing across Mount Kenya region, but we'll be keeping tabs on what happens. You see, our role is to inform you on what is happening, but clearly from the sentiments there that have been recorded both by our TV as well as our website, where you can get further details, that is www.kbc.co.ke, it seems indeed there is a wind that is blowing across the Mount Kenya region. Now, if you did not know, we have Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West seemingly not speaking the same language or dancing to the same tune.
And that has been something that has been ringing quite loud, because even the most of the headlines last week were West versus East, Mount Kenya East or Mount Kenya West, you know, just creating and letting you know that they are on opposite sides at the moment, and a situation that has been catalyzed by the coronation of Justin Muturi. But at that particular point, we take a very quick breather. We'll be back to continue with more of what the papers have for us this morning. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Did you know education policy stands the test of time, irrespective of uncertainties in life like COVID-19? For peace of mind, go ahead and buy education insurance for your child's education in order to guarantee their future even in difficult times. Purchase an education policy early in your child's life to avoid the pressure that parents face when children join kindergarten, high school, college or university. Now you know. IRA, promoting insurance, protecting the insured.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBid ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickWin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
The greatest rally in the world is back in Kenya. Catch all the action of WRC Safari Rally live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 from 24th to 27th June. See the world's best drivers navigate their machines on Kenya's rough terrain at breakneck speeds. Experience the thrills, adrenaline, drama and excitement as man and machine do battle. Don't miss out. WRC Safari Rally, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Tonight,
What else is there to say? Let's not turn this into one of those soap operas, okay?
It's not what it looks like.
Mr. Gah, sign my jersey, please, please.
You even have a pen.
I'm a big fan of yours. I've watched you for so many years. Thank you.
Go on.
I do. I will. I can't believe I finally met you.
I can't even catch my breath. I don't even have an ounce of energy left.
Save it.
What are you doing? What? Me? I can't.
Just go get changed.
I really can't.
I'll play. Go, Ken. Put on your coat. You can't man down.
next on
Mimi ndiye Dr. Chua, Alwatan Chua.
Mimi ndiye Dr. Sawasawa.
Mimi ni Dr. Ashraf mwenye hii hospitali.
Ashraf si lolote.
Wewe daktari, hospitali ni yako kabisa.
I am the boss.
Okay.
That's all. Get passion.
Huyu mwanangu mimi namuona kulegea tu.
Afaa tumpatie tu pamoja ya maji.
Maji asikioni.
Hii chupa moja mama kisha tufanya sahali. Lakini kama wengine tutatia lita 20.
Si majanga haya.
Get passion.
Basi.
Next passion.
Yuendesha.
Huyo mzo bongo.
tonight on KBC Channel 1.
What did that idiot tell you?
Nothing.
Amaya, let's make a good start, okay? I don't like it when my wife doesn't respond to the questions I ask her.
What did he tell
Yes.
me? Nothing of importance.
Cover her mouth and shut her up. Hey, what are you doing, you idiot? Hey, stop it.
Oh, sweetheart, I don't want to end up being killed.
You got yourself into this kind of problem. You destroyed my life ever since I was a child, and you never had love for me at all.
Oh, it's not that.
And now you offer me as a bet?
He is your sister. Jose, I am your father. You and Constanza have my blood in your veins.
Good morning, Kenya, right here on KBC Channel 1, and I'm Regina Manyara. Now, we were looking at those stories that are making headlines that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours. We just stopped off at the issue of succession politics, but now keenly focusing on Mount Kenya region there. Now, crossing over to rather not matters politics, so to speak. Actually, it is politics. However, it boils down to the issue of matters of elections, issues of IEBC. When the commissioners have been picked, are all factions, or rather all stratas, inclusive? Now, this is a question that has been pegged here on issues of inclusivity in as far as IEBC commissioners are concerned and slots, and because the youth are demanding at least 2 IEBC slots for enhanced representation. Now, the lobby group says young people have been discriminated against in decision-making platforms. These are just sentiments that have been shared by this is Kenya Young CEO Forums that wants the panel chaired by Elizabeth Muli to ensure youth get a chance to represent their interests in the electoral agency. Youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but tomorrow needs to be now. We need to be seated at the decision-making table so that we can present our interests. That is what the Young CEOs Forum want the panel chaired by Elizabeth Muli to ensure. And they say that, this is a selection for the appointment of commissioners to the IBC election boundaries that is already shortlisting 669 applicants who made applications to that position. So they are lobbying that the panel also puts into consideration that the youth want to be actively present, in decision making. And I think that's a good move, Jane. What do you think?
Absolutely. We stop this narrative, leaders of tomorrow. How about leaders of now, man? Start now to prepare for that future that we want, And just the other day, I was, one of our colleagues here was just on the streets asking people, why is it that the youth shy away from politics of the country? Is it a question of them shying away or not being involved from the get-go and being told, you're the leaders of tomorrow, and when in terms of elections, who are used for violence? It is the youth who are left to suffer with the collateral damage as a result. It is still the youth. So we need to do better by our youth, and it starts with the leaders that are there. Stop talking about them being leaders of tomorrow, but leaders of tomorrow start now. Ama vipi? Kabisa. Now, speaking of tomorrow, it is Madaraka Day, and there's this piece here that talks of how Ruto was nabbed in Uhuru Nyanza, and then also in regards to the preparation and commissioning and launching of some of the projects that His Excellency has been doing since his arrival in Kisumu. So the Deputy President will attend the 58th Madaraka Day celebrations in Kisumu, but will not accompany President Kenyatta and his host Raila Odinga on project launches. This emerged yesterday as Ruto allies claimed that he had been sidelined in the preparations for the entire function, despite him being second in command. DP allies also went ahead to say that Mr. Raila Odinga and His Excellency have taken center stage when it comes to the planning, while DP has continued to be ignored. And this was further confirmed by State House spokesperson, that is Kanzedena Mararo, who did not mention DP even, as she confirmed that Mr. Kenyatta and will be in the company of Raila Odinga and other local leaders once they arrive in Kisumu. And this was further also confirmed by the Director of Communication in the DP's office, Mr. Emmanuel Talam, who confirmed that the DP would only attend tomorrow's event, but would not accompany President Kenyatta in a tour of the various government projects in the region. So what does this say in regards to our leadership? That is the question that has been put here. Now, speaking of leadership, Ray, there's a piece here about Kajiado. Kajiado Governor Joseph Ole Lenku is on the spot after the closure of a major dump site. Now, this dump site, which sits on an estimated 5 acres, he ordered the closure of this particular dump site a month ago. Finally, it has been closed down. Now, this has left hundreds of uncollected garbage all over in the areas of Ongata Rongai, Kiserian, and Ngong towns. It has also left hundreds of families that were dependent on this dump collection as a source of livelihood. Now, they have been left high and dry. Why? The closure of this dump site has already taken effect, and the idea was to renovate and rehabilitate this particular 5-acre piece of land, and it was supposed to be converted into a public park. Before this idea of a public park came into place, they had already mobilized resources after an Italian donor agency had committed to some 2.1 billion for the integrated waste energy plant. But since this was delayed, they resorted to a park, a public park for the people. Now, there is no public park. There is no place to dump garbage for the areas of Kiserian, Ongata Rongai, and Ngong towns. Now the pressure continues to pile on Governor Ole Lenku. But Mr. Lenku said that the plan to relocate the dump site is being watered down by political competitors who he accused of paying individuals to litter the town to malign his name. That is just one of the projects that have stalled in Kajiado. Let's not even talk about the roads, and especially the main roads that feed off the Magadi Road.
I'm wondering if I should comment as just a Kenyan who's questioning that particular story, or a resident of Kajiado County, because in his tenure, I have not seen the governor do any projects. And he's saying that his political detractors are paying people to litter the town. The town is already littered. It has been littered for years during his tenure. And unfortunately, the move for the market, the plan to move the market, the plan to move the bus station up in Kware, the plan to actually tarmac the road have been used as items in politics. Campaign tools. Over and over again. The question is, as constituents, what are we going to do about it?
You remember just a couple of weeks ago, there was some demonstrations that were happening.
Yes.
And then what happened after that? They brought that maram, ikamwagwa at one of the main roads there, ikakanyagwa na, not even a road roller, easy za kuplow lands in the farm. That is what was used to sort of flatten the dirt that they had brought around that area. And right now, it is dusty.
Actually, when you drive that road, there's no need to actually take your car to the car wash.
It's pointless.
As if you have been participating in the WRC Safari Rally, and yet you were just driving from your home to the office.
And mind you, there was an MCA there, I think one of the ones who were hopeful for a seat or two, that is the one who was in charge of that dirt that was poured there. And again, it being used as a campaign tool.
And the challenge goes to constituents right now as we're planning for 2022. I think it's the high time that we focus not on what you're going to give us, but what you have done. Let your work speak for you. Let's not look at which community you come from or which family you come from. Let's focus on development. I remember in a report that was made public around 2018-2019, Kajiado County was identified as a fast-growing county, and even in terms of revenue collection, right? But you look at the fiscal planning that has been made in Kitengela in comparison to Ongata-Rongai, there's a huge difference.
Disparity.
People have put up businesses right smack in the middle, next to the road. Like, you try to swerve to avoid hitting a boda rider or a goat, because that happens, you will land into someone's, biashara ya nyanya, But if you look at what fiscal planning has been done in Kitengela, you wonder, were they the same people who are doing this planning? I think going into the elections, come 2022, constituents, not just in Kajiado County, need to put tribe aside, nepotism aside, focus on development. Let us look at what these leaders have done for us.
Yeah.
Not because of the promises that they make, but what they have done. And if it does not commensurate our needs and wants as a people, we need to drop them and pick others who can, because we can. I remember I met a civil rights person who told me, unfortunately, Kenyans think that being given the services that they receive is a favor being done unto them. What they do not know is that they are actually the employers of government officials in elected posts. Why? Their taxes pay them. And if you're going to follow the paper trail, then you need to know who is in charge. Wanjiku is. And time is right for that kind of mentality. Wanjiku is not someone to be used to propel people to higher positions. Wanjiku now should think for herself. And Wanjiku is you and I. Let's make the right decisions.
We have to do better by ourselves. We cannot just be doing the same thing and expecting different results. Do different to get different.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the Daily Nation, counties are supposed to start getting the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, at least if you got the first jab, as of Wednesday of this week. And this is information from the Health Ministry. Dr. Willis Akwale, the chair of the National COVID-19 Task Force, yesterday told the Daily Nation that the doses will be distributed today, between today and tomorrow, and the vaccination will kick off on Wednesday of this week. And this second jab will come from the 100,000 unused doses in counties and the other 72,000 doses that Kenya received from South Sudan on Saturday. He urged all Kenyans who did get the first dose to wait for a message from the Chanjo system, which will be telling them which day they will be getting the second dose. In as much as you got a message once you got the first jab, you got a message telling you which day you're supposed to get the second dose, and this is between 8 to 12 weeks after the first dose. So they are, of course, again prioritizing the essential workers. These are our health workers, security officers, and teachers for the first dose. And those who also received the second doses on Friday at the Kenyatta National Hospitals are the ones who got the first dose. So if you did not get the first dose, you will not be included in this second round of vaccination. Only those who got the first dose are going to be getting the second doses, and they're the ones who are going to be sent for messages communicating to them when and where they're going to be getting the second doses. In as much as Kenya is expecting an additional 150,000 doses from DRC through a bilateral agreement, the vaccines will not be forthcoming as the World Health Organization, supported by COVAX facility, quashed the all country-to-country plans. That was a hopeful, but as per World Health Organization, that is not going to come to life. And as such, the doses that Kenya was expecting from DRC will be redistributed to Angola and Zambia. And this is per what Dr. Akwale had to say. So Kenya is now expecting more jabs to be redistributed. This is out of a 60 million batch that is being donated by the US and other countries outside India, as well as part of countries in the European Union also donating a total of 400,000 doses. So that is where we are when it comes to the vaccination against COVID-19 with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Ray.
Woo. Talking about matters of medicine, but now we're moving away from matters of COVID-19. So, Jane, if you do not mind my asking, what blood group are you?
A positive.
You're A positive. Good.
I'm AB.
I'm AB positive too.
That is quite rare.
Yes. Now, there's this article here on this particular daily that we're sampling, and the header is, I am blood group O positive. Will you marry me? So couples should do a medical background check on hereditary diseases, cases of syphilis, abortion, and mental illness. Now, this is according to immunologist and lecturer at Egerton University, Dr. Jeffrey Kaikai. And he goes on to explain this. He says, couples rarely consider each other's blood groups, which are inherited. They can either be A, B, AB, or O positive or negative. Yeah, blood groups indeed are not a big issue for couples, not intent on raising children, but quite vital for those who are planning to have them. Now, Dr. Kaikai explains that a rhesus factor is related to protein on red blood cells. If there are proteins, one is rhesus positive or rhesus negative. So sometimes couples get married without even checking their compatibility. Now, a woman with a rhesus factor negative blood group getting married to a man who has a rhesus positive, yeah, a negative and a positive, results in a birth of a rhesus incompatible child. If unchecked, these incompatible blood groups can lead to miscarriages, neonatal deaths from hemolytic disease. That's very important for you and your person who you're intending to get a child with, or even get into a serious relationship, to actually know which blood group you belong to. So the doctor finally elaborates and says, antibodies of a woman with a rhesus pass through the placenta to the baby, and from the process of reaction, the baby may die during pregnancy. And if they survive, they will have a lot of damage on the liver and eventually pass on. So in subsequent pregnancies, the mother can also die with the development of ectopic pregnancy. So to avoid fatalities and health complications, pregnant women are screened during antenatal clinics. And Kaikai says, though the women with negative rhesus is not a major issue, as out of 10, only 15% will have a rhesus negative, of which only 1% have rhesus complications. So if you're in a serious relationship and you're thinking that in future you'd want little use running around in the house, you need to know your blood group and the compatibility. As we say, let no woman die during childbirth. That's why we're saying we're eradicating, maternal deaths. Let us not lose our child during delivery. And yes, children should not be oops babies or accidents, or what do you say, Jane? Though a majority of us as firstborns are always
firstborns and lastborns. But that particular story takes me back to high school biology. I remember our high school biology teacher, Mr. Moura. I loved biology, and that is one of those lessons that I remember very clearly about the rhesus factor. And it's actually quite a health risk, because the woman's body considers the baby, in this case where they're not rhesus compatible, as a foreign object, and therefore the body attacks the baby, leading to miscarriages. So when we talk about compatibility, it's not about whether you make each other laugh, whether, when you see your partner, unasikia vivi kwa tumbo. No, compatibility goes way beyond that. It boils down to even your health as a couple. Because yesterday I was going through an article, and in Nigeria, when you are starting to date, you have to do a medical profile with the other couple very early on in the stage, because there's a very terrible sickle cell pandemic in Nigeria. So there are very many people who are carriers of the sickle cell. And once you do a screening with your partner and they see that you are a carrier, that is enough grounds to end that relationship. Not because you don't love each other, but because medically speaking, you're not compatible. And if you do continue together as a couple, you put your children at a higher risk, especially if the both of you are carriers of the sickle cell. All right? Yes.
Now, talking about sickle cell, there's also another article that follows up on issues of health and science and talks about, in particular, the issue of sickle cell with a keen focus to Kisumu County. Now, data on this particular article indicates that 80% of sickle cell patients are under 15, with an average of 5 crisis episodes annually, which require around 10 days of day or 50 days every day, to just rest. And about 1,440 of the 44,000 newborns annually in Kisumu County have sickle cell traits. This means that many children succumb undiagnosed, and 50 to 90% die before their 5th birthday.
And this goes back to you not going the step further, in as much as it's not considered normal, it's considered about, what are you doing? But wanting to know your partner's family history in terms of those hereditary diseases, it's important that you have these conversations at the early stages of your relationship, if you are feeling committed to each other and you are hoping to build a family together. Because if you find both of you are carriers of a particular trait, your children will definitely get the worst of it all from the combination of both.
But you see, the reality is people, boy meets girl, or girl meets boy.
Boy, girl fall in love.
They eat pizza or whatever.
Go
they
on
eat pizza,
movie dates.
mandazi, or whatever. Next thing, we're living together, or if they get to church, they get married. Next
and
thing,
life goes on.
We have a child, and life moves on. Then later, when these complications start coming, we start now going back
and blaming the mother
to the medical
or
books
you
to check what is happening. But according here to County Health Chief Officer Dr. Gregory Ganda, he says it is true. We need to, he says that about 38,000 newborn babies are screened for sickle cell annually. And this will continue for the next 5 years. And this is to help reduce mortality among children born in Kisumu, because Kisumu, with the data that already the medical fraternity has, Kisumu County is the epicenter of sickle cell disease in Kenya. And if you're wondering about treatment, yes, there's treatment, however, a little bit costly. Now, currently, patients are seeking bone marrow transplants in East and Southern Central. Who are within East and Southern Central, or rather Central Africa, have to go all the way to India or South Africa to treatment. You can get further details as we just peruse through matters of sickle cell. I think that's also a topic that we need to handle here, Jane, here when we're talking about health. You know, compatibility. You know,
medically speaking.
Yeah, compatibility, medically speaking, what you need to look out for, even when you go for that profile, what compares with what, and what is, you know, most important for you to look out for.
Yes, the basics that anyone can be able to handle without getting to the technicalities of it all. You know, the basics that you need to know as a person to also know how to best protect yourself. All right? Now, let's come to the county news pull-out segment of the Daily Nation. And City Hall workers to get 175 million Kenya shillings in early retirement scheme. Now, retirement, the question of retirement has been quite the conversation in most institutions, and especially just trying to determine the age. You know, should they start from 55 or from 58 or 60 or 65? But now City Hall has allocated another 175 million towards the rollout of early retirement for its aged staff, as well as payment of terminal benefits that was owed to the county government retirees prior to this. And that was another 173 billion that was owed in terms of terminal benefits. So looking at the figures at City Hall, the report revealed that out of the 11,603 City Hall workers, 5,709 are over 50 years of age. All right? The total is 11,600. Out of that, 5,700 are over 50 years of age. And 19 are above the age of 60. Okay? So the report further revealed that only 792 of the employees are below the age of 35. Out of 11,000, only 792 are below the age of 35. Representing only 14% of the entire workforce in City Hall. A total of 2,712 workers are aged between 55 and 59. Those aged between 50 and 54 are 2,978, while those who are aged between 45 and 49 are 2,663. Basically, over 80%, almost 80% of the workforce at City Hall are above the age of 45. Okay? According to devolution executive, that is Veska Kagongo, said a number of the aid staff are due to retire by the end of this financial year, hence this allocation of the early retirement, and they're hoping that a majority of them are going to take it and run with it, because looking at the workforce, they ought to do better, with only 14% are 35 and below. A total of 792 persons out of a whole 11,603. Not even, okay, let me just leave it at that. So they have been allocated 175 million to go towards the rollout of the early voluntary retirement plan. More of that on the County News Pillar segment of the Daily Nation. Ray.
Now I'm trying to see what we do from that NHIF matters of... Let's go back to matters of human interest in regard to the killings that we have been witnessing there with human rights crusaders there questioning, are we seeing the rebirth or rather the resurgence of police killer squad? Now, based on the established patterns of these killings, human rights activists fear the resurgence of a familiar squad named, remember, Kwekwe? Could be behind it. Why is this? March 13th, or rather May 13th, the date when the Somali-American businessman Bashir Mohamud went missing on his way home from Miali Lounge, Nairobi. Few days later, his remains are found somewhere. Now this has sparked fresh fears that a hit squad is involved in the extrajudicial killings in regard to the latest victim being Bashir Mohammed. So he went missing on May 13th, as I mentioned to you earlier. Following day, his body was retrieved from a river in Kirinyaga County and taken to Kerogoya Level 5 Hospital mortuary, where it was marked as unknown. Yeah, that is just one. Now, Elijah Obong, age 30, Benjamin Amache, age 30, Brian Odwar, age 36, and 37-year-old Jack Ochieng were picked up by unknown people and bundled up into two cars before being driven away on April 19th this year. And this comes after the disappearance. Since the disappearance of the four had arrived at Club Enkare in the afternoon, that is in Kitengela, ordered drinks and had lunch. But that was the last time they were seen alive. Their disappearance and subsequent killing bore some similarities with Bashir's murder. Just like Bashir, security agents indicated that the four men had been implicated in a series of crimes, especially motor vehicle theft in Nairobi and Mombasa. The killings have rekindled the memories of extrajudicial killings believed to have been carried out by the dreaded police squad codenamed Kwekwe, which was disbanded following public outcry. Based on the modus operandi and traits of the latest killings, now human rights activists believe, or rather have cause to worry over the resurgence of that. On the other hand, Interior PS Karanja Kebisho has said he would not respond to generalities and hearsay, and when asked to respond to the claims, that is according to the civil society. So the PS there says he needs direct information, or rather specific information, so that the particular arm of government can deal with the matter. Remember, these are just some of the stories that are making headlines. We read them as they happen. If you have, our feedback in regard to what we have broadcast or highlight for you, you can very well reach us on Twitter. Our official station handle is at KBC Channel 1 News. Mine is at Ray Manyara. We have a Jane Wamboy here with you in studio. So this is just a follow-up. Even our very own may her soul continue resting in peace. Betty Barrasa's murder is still under investigation, and according to this particular piece, some of the dumping sites of these bodies have often been in morgues in Nairobi, Naivasha, Nanyuki, Machakos, Nakuru, Nyeri, Karatina, Murang'a, and Kerogoya, while other bodies are abandoned in open fields, with notorious locations being Ngong, Magadi, Kiserian, Kangundo, Karura Forest, Kieni Forest, Nanyuki, Suswa, and Athi River. We'll be keeping tabs on that, even as government, rather the arms of government, security arm of government, promises to bring the murders of, or rather perpetrators of that heinous act where Bashir Mohamud was murdered to book. We'll be keeping tabs on that. Jane.
All right, now as we draw closer and closer to the end of this particular segment, Homa Bay is at the cusp of disaster, and this is as per MSF, which warns when it comes to the rising cases in that particular county. So they raised the alarm over the surge in COVID-19 infections in Homa Bay County, and this is as a result of them being the ones that are managing the high dependency unit at the referral hospital. And they're saying that if these cases that are being detected could continue on the same trajectory that they are on, they are soon going to be overwhelmed by the cases. And this one even comes on the background of the go slow that the county health workers were on a week ago, where they downed their tools over delayed salaries, but they resumed work a week later after their salaries were paid off. And now the HDU ward at the hospital is full, with 19 patients admitted by Friday morning and only 3 beds available. Now, moving from Homa Bay, clearly COVID is still a problem. Let's go to Vietnam. And now the government in Vietnam has sounded the alarm because they have just discovered a new COVID-19 variant. And this one is a hybrid of the Indian and the British strains.
Say what?
Yes, it is a hybrid, and it is highly communicable, and it is spreading quickly by air.
Let me ask, Jumanji has how many episodes? Because we need to really know if we're writing...
Tatu.
Huh?
Now, you know there are only 4 known variants.
Yeah.
The Brazilian, the South African, the British one, and the Indian one. Now Vietnam has a hybrid, a mix of the Indian and the UK variant. And as per the health minister, he said that the characteristics of this trait is that it spreads very quickly in the air. You know, as we know it, COVID spreads through droplets. That's why you put on masks. Now this hybrid is spreading very quickly in the air. Its concentration is on the throat and throat fluids, which increases rapidly and spreads very strongly to the surrounding environment. And so far, over half of its territory has been affected by this new variant.
Do you know what I am so tempted to do right now? Is to Google and see if we have flights from Vietnam. I'm actually tempted to do so.
Where?
What are we talking about? Anyway, at the end of the day, you know, security begins with you, yeah?
Yes.
And also Kenyans need to understand that in as much as you have received vaccine, it does not give you a lifetime immunity. It just ensures that once you if you contract the virus, that you're likely not to succumb.
Or it won't be as harsh on you as someone who hasn't received the vaccine.
It doesn't mean you cannot
get
contract the virus, and it also doesn't mean you can't spread it. So you need to mask up. You need to wash your hands thoroughly with soap and running water. You need to cough into your elbow if you need to. Avoid touching your face. You know, we need to survive this. We have so much to live for.
So much so.
I hear there's also an alert there in Mombasa now after 3 tests positive for the Indian variant. And now Vietnam is going and having variants, mutations of 2 variants.
You know, the only hybrids I know are in Vampire Diaries.
You know, where you have the wolves and that.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll keep tabs and see if we have flights from Vietnam. We need to have that. We need to be, I think, secure. And I will go to say what Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe was saying in regard to what the government has done to ensure that we do not have direct flights to India and such. It took me way back to 2020 before we confirmed our first case in March of COVID-19. And Kenyans were up in arms, especially on social media, in regard to a flight that came in ferrying over 230 people from China. You know, so I don't know why it seems as if we're shadow boxing. But at the end of the day, be an individual, be your brother's keeper. If you take care of yourself, you have definitely not only protected yourself, but also the person seated next to you. there.
All right, and with that, we just want to put a cap on in the headlines, but we have so much more lined up for you. But up next is this particular feature in regards to FGM. Again, in as much as we are in the 21st century, FGM is still a reality in parts of our country, and it is up to you and I to do right by our young children and help bring this practice to an end. Stay with us.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
The greatest rally in the world is back in Kenya. Catch all the action of WRC Safari Rally live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 from 24th to 27th June. See the world's best drivers navigate their machines on Kenya's rough terrain at breakneck speeds. Experience the thrills, adrenaline, drama and excitement as man and machine do battle. Don't miss out. WRC Safari Rally, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Tonight.
What else is there to say? Let's not turn this into one of those soap operas, okay?
It's not what it looks like.
Mr. Gao, sign my jersey, please, please.
You even have a pen.
I'm a big fan of yours. I've watched you for so many years. Thank you.
Go on.
I do. I will. I can't believe I finally met you.
I can't even catch my breath. I don't even have an ounce of energy left.
Save it.
What are you doing? What? Me? I can't.
Just go to the team.
I really can't.
I'll play. Go, Kent. Put on your coat. You can't play. Man down.
Female genital mutilation is one practice, just in various parts of this country, different counties, with prevalence being in places such as Kisii, Embu, Meru, Taita Taveta, and even Kuria.
Tunataka kuheshimu mila zetu, lakini ndio tuweze kuheshimu mila zetu, lazima pia tukae na tuseme zile mila ambazo zaumiza watoto wetu tuachane nazo, lakini zile mila ambazo ni za manufaa kwa watoto wetu tuendelee nazo.
The government has also made various strides with the notion of wanting to stop this practice by 2022.
When you instructed us with the Shebesh that the target of 2022 to have 0 cases of FGM is your plan. And we are trying to execute it, but Your Excellency, this cannot be done alone. First, let me thank the elders, because when they signed the declaration in the State House about 2 years ago, that was one of the new things that we, as an intervention, because fighting FGM requires several interventions. One of the intervention is where we brought in elders because they are the decision makers.
In this documentary, we learn about.
Nilisema nataka kukeketwa.
Alishika hiyo maneno kutoka kwa nyanya yake, akaja naye kutuambia ati yeye nataka.
Tulienda tukakeketa msichana mmoja akamblindi.
We sensitize them about the dangers of FGM.
And now, I'm in Tharaka Nithi County to find out if the government interventions are bearing fruits.
Kaire ntige tonga ananka gererwa ngabana kaya akandinga mukono ntige tonga ewa kwa mware enwa mugambo ntoweya.
I got an appointment with Fides Kithinji, a reformed ex-cutter who practiced FGM for decades. She underwent the cut.
Wakati nilitaidiwa nikiwa mkubwa sababu si hakuna kampuni. Unajua hii ni kampuni yako sasa. Sasa unaona wewe ukiacha huyu akitairiwa na huyu atairiwe na huyu mwingine, wewe huwezi waachwa peke yake. Sasa unakosa kampuni. Unajua kampuni. Sasa hiyo ndio inaniwezesha nitairiwe sababu hakuna mtu tunakaa na yeye. Nitakuwa peke yangu.
According to Fides, it was more of a ceremony than an event.
Sasa wakati huu ni wakati wa ule mtani. Ile mwenye kutairi anavaa hivi. Hata ukimwona na njia unajua yeye ni mwenye kutairi. Hata mwenye kutairiwa akiniona anajua ndio ule mtaani. Anaitwa mtaani. Sasa zamani mwenye kutairi alikuwa anaenda akiwa anaimbiwa. Anaimba. Sasa akienda pale ataingia pole na msisana naye hapa ndio mwenye kutairiwa atatokea. Na hii mlango amalisiwe mambo yake na mimi nitakuwa pale nje. Sasa hii inaitwa kovia mtani. Na hii ni nkio ya mtani. Hii mti inaitwa lamara. Yaani ile pimbo ya mtani. Ukienda kusukua mtani kama mtu anikujia hapa kama unatumano kama vile vijana. Kijana kama ule anakuja ananiambia tunataka uende ukatairie kwetu. Sasa leta ile pesa unakuja naye ili niweze kutoka. Kiniashia 1,000. Sasa nitampea hii. Ona, ataenda naye akijua mtani akienda atapelekea yule mwenye kutairiwa mwambie ukiona hii ujua hakuna utabadilika hata ukikataa tunakushika kwa nguvu.
Poverty made Fides to become a cutter.
Sasa nikaona sasa nione kama nikitairi nitapata pesa. Sasa nikaanja hapo umuhimu nikafuatilia wale walikuwa na barua. Wajua huku kutairi zamani ilikuwa ukienda kutairi na unaenda unapea chibu pesa. Unakupatia barua unaenda kutairi nayo. Sasa ukiwa huyu apata ile barua utaenda hivyo utakuwa ukienda bila amuke. Asubuhi saa 12 umetairi. Umemaliza na unapewa kitu.
For one to qualify as a cutter, one had to cut at least 10 young ladies.
Wajua ulikuwa unatairi kisirisiri, hakuna mtu anajua kama unatairi. Unaenda unatairi, unakujua unatairi unarudi. Sasa ukirundi vile wajua ni kama vile unapewa mtihani unapita. Sasa ukikuwa na watu 10 wako, sasa hiyo ndio kama unafunuliwa. Unapatiana ile sakura wanakura alafu wanakuambia sasa wewe endelea kabisa. Ni kama vile unafanya mtihani wa form 4 kama ukapita uende university.
Later on the day, I received a call from Sarah Karimi from Kirimangare village, Kanjuki sublocation. She is one of the few women who voluntarily went for the cut.
Nilisema nataka kukeketwa. Ukeketaji ulikuwa mwingi na ilikuwa ni passion. So kama hujakeketwa hauna kampani.
Mtu anakaa for how long ndio arudi kuwa sawa kabisa ile mpaka anaweza toka aende nje atembea endelee na shughuli zake kwa kawaida?
Utakaa mwezi.
Na hiyo mwezi uketi kwa nyumba ni mambo gani ambayo unafanyiwa? Kama ile kuappreciate. Sasa umetoka from one stage to another stage.
Kiutamaduni kuna mambo mingi walikuwa wanafanya. Utaletwa watu hata kwa kuchape. Uko na kidonda na utachapwa. Utaambua kama ni mambo ya kuheshimu mama mwenye amekuwa supporter wako. kutambua mambo ya kama unapita njiani ukutane na wazazi wako, unapaa wewe unaingia kwa kichaka, wanapita. Upusi mwingi.
Peer pressure also pushed her to go for the cut.
Wakati niko darasani nilikuwa na stress, sababu naona wenzangu wameenda kuolewa. Kama rafiki yangu nakumbuka kuna mmoja aliolewa tu vile tu sasa tulirudi mashuleni. Yeye akakuwa tayari alikuwa na boyfriend, lakini sasa vile amepita hiyo section sasa amekuwa sawa. So akakuwa ameolewa, kuna mtoto. Bado mimi hata sijamaliza class 8. Bado naendelea na masomo. So nilikuwa naona ni stress kubwa.
Simon Jaging Kathu is a community leader in Kirimangare village.
Wanajaribu kuendelea ama kuendesha ile utamaduni wao. Hiyo kazi mimi sitaifanya. Maana niliona haina kitu ama haina faida yoyote kwangu. Na kama mtu akija kwangu kuniambia ati nataka barua, uende unichukulie barua kwa chief ama kwa assistant chief ili nipate nafasi ya kukeketa msichana wangu. Hiyo kitu mimi nakataa. Na tena hiyo kama kiendelea na hiyo kazi na nikipata huyo msichana amekeketwa, mimi napiga ripoti kwa authority, halafu majukumu nachukuliwa na serikali. Kusema kweli mimi sioni kama kuna kitu ambayo kiko muhimu sana kwa kukeketa msichana, mbali ni hasara tupu.
A few meters away, I met Grace Josephat, a reformed ex-cutter who practiced FGM for over 10 years.
Kuanzia 1979 tukaenda mpaka hata mimi akanifundisha kukeketa. Akitengenezewa pombe akikunywa akalewa, ananiambia sasa nilikufundisha, saa hii wewe utafanya hii kazi. Tulienda tukakeketa msichana mmoja akamblindi kwa damu kwa wingi. Nikaangalia nikaona na hii ni maneno ya kufungwa. Nikafikiria, nikaanza kutetemeka. Nikaona hii maneno hii serikali ikijua tutapungwa. Mimi nikaolewa na pasta. Nikiolewa na pasta akaniambia sasa hii maneno sitakubaliana na hii maneno. Hata nikiwa mimi na keketa nilikuwa naona ni maneno sio mzuri.
Government interventions to stop FGM has attracted support from non-governmental organizations. We met Faith, Regional Director, Plan International based in Tharaka-Nithi County.
A lot of progress has been achieved towards eradication of the practice, with a lot of emphasis on working with locals, mainly the role models, women and men that are in support of ending the practice, women that have progressed well in their career and have not gone through FGM, and others that have gone through FGM are career women but are against the practice and have been able to stop the practice in their own families. So those are the people that we've been working with. There are a lot of awareness campaigns that have been held at the community level. A lot of government structures have also been supported, especially strengthening the court users committees, working with the area advisory councils, training the police officers, mainly to ensure that they understand the need for issues of child protection, because FGM falls under violation of children's rights as well as a form of gender-based violence. So as much as there is that much that the organization has done in reducing the practice from 58% in 2014 to 48% as at last year, a lot more needs to be done now that comparing the prevalence in the Tharaka County and the national prevalence of 21%, we are way above the national average with around 27%. A lot more needs to be done in eradicating the practice, which is quite deep-rooted. And as much as the government is committed to ending the practice in 2022, there is quite some good trial in terms of the government agencies supporting the presidential directive, but there is a lot more that needs to be done by everyone to ensure that the practice is eradicated in 2022.
Some children were actually rescued by Plan International, them that were to undergo the cut, and then they picked them. Those are the girls that they hold seminars for. We sensitize them about the dangers of FGM as a woman, as a girl, and even to the education sector. It's dangerous to them. We've held so many seminars and we've taught well about it, and for sure a large percentage is now in schools as a result of those seminars.
If you compare FGM prevalence, especially across the county, areas where the literacy levels are very high, people have gone to school, people are in church, people are not poor, the FGM levels are very low. But where the poverty levels are high, there are high levels of illiteracy, then FGM is high. So if we fight poverty, then it will definitely address issues of FGM, because parents will have, they will be financially stable, they can be able to take their children through schools. There is that level of exposure that comes up with the improved level standards of living. There is that interaction with the outside world that brings in the natural transformation from embracing the cultural practices that are retrogressive to encouraging education, to encouraging support of education and hence eradication of FGM in an area.
My visit to Tharaka County left me with hope. A hope that come 2022, FGM prevalence will be zero. A hope that girls will be given equal opportunity in the society. I will visit Tharaka again.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBee ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBee ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
Every Monday evening we take you back where the action happens.
We cheer up your Monday blues.
Our cameras rove all week to cover the latest in the enormous showbiz scene.
We show you what you missed even if you were present.
Grapevine gives 100% support to the local entertainment content.
From celebrity buzz,
music,
fashion,
and all manner of entertainment and youth talent.
Watch Grapevine every Monday at 10 p.m.
Remember what they say, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably
never happened.
Kupata skiza tune hii, sala ya imani na matumaini, dial *811 *815 #.
Sala ya imani. Mungu wangu na sadiki maneno yote linalosadiki na linalofundisha kanisa Katoliki la Roma. Kwani ndiwe uliofundisha hayo, wala haudanganyiki, wala haudanganyi. Amina. Sala ya matumaini.
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya sala ya imani na matumaini, dial *811 *815 *811 *815 #.
All right, this is another edition of GMK coming to you live from Kisumu City, and as expected, this is going to be the point of discussion today and how the president is going to be having the whole of this day taken care of for the better part of the day. Where we are right now is at the port of Kisumu, where the president is expected anytime from 10:30 thereabout, and is going to be launching this particular ship. Right behind me there is one of the ships that had been parked for the last 15 or 16 years, but it was refurbished at a cost of 200 million shillings by the Kenyan Navy. And now it's about just to be flagged off today by the president, as he's going to be transporting 24 those are wagons of fuel to Jinja in Uganda, and for the last 3 months, ever since it was rehabilitated at a cost of 200 million shillings, so far it has transported over 50 million liters of fuel to Uganda. Now that is an improvement, and being one of the wagons that is happening, the president is going to be flagging off that ship officially. Although it's been working, but it's going to be flagged off officially by the president today once he's here. Now the president landed in the in the city of Kisumu yesterday at around 3 p.m. thereabout, and thereafter he headed straight to Siaya, where he also launched a number of projects in that particular county. Now, one of the projects that the president launched was the road of Bondo Road, Siaya, and the water and sanitation program at a cost of around 2-point-something billion shillings. And the water and sanitation is going to help these people in the area of Kogelo and Siaya villages. Around 201,000 people are going to benefit from the first phase. We have got several phases. That's the first phase and the second phase that is going to benefit 201,000 according to the estimate. But then now, that was that. Probably just come, my cameraman. The whole of this place initially, for those people who have been in Kisumu way back before, this place was bushy, and even back in the background, these things never used to be there. The yachts we have here, the ships we have there, they never used to exist. The whole of this place was completely immersed in water hyacinth. All right? Okay, I know people must be asking, is this real Kisumu? This is Kisumu. All right? This is where we usually had the Luangni beach. The whole of this place was bushy, but it has been rehabilitated by the Kenya Air Force and the Kenya Defense Forces, who are actually taking care of this particular project as it stands right now. The project, as it is, has taken slightly 6 months, 6 months, and the contractor says that according to the time that they were given, they are 60.2% complete as at today, and they're still continuing to do more of the project that is going to be given. They were given this project, particularly this project, so that they can rehabilitate the whole of this port for usability moving forward. And it's going to benefit across East Africa, not Kisumu region alone. And it's been having a lot of activities ever since it was rehabilitated, with the MV Uhuru transporting over 50 million liters of fuel. Now, this is just part of the wagon being packed here. Yesterday we had got plenty of activities which was happening. They were pushed into that ship over there. Already it's been packed, and it's now a no-go zone, with the president expected here anytime from 11 thereabout to go and officially launch that ship and flag it off to Jinja in Uganda, with over 24 wagons inside there heading to Uganda and transporting fuel. So this is going to be opening basically the economic point of this particular county and in East Africa in general. Therefore, just to give you an overview, Jen, to tell our viewers exactly happening. This particular place has been rehabilitated, and even what's happening, the groundwork is still happening, and the kind of ships that here were never existing, these ones have been brought here afresh, and they're docking. This place has been drenched. The whole of that particular place where we used to have Hyacinth here, the whole of this area has been removed, and the ships can now easily dock, and it will be working as a pair. And we have got immigration office around this place, and we have got the Kenya Ports Authorities here, their offices and their shipping yards also at this particular area. Now, that is just part of that. If you can see that one, the MV Uvumbuzi is also that one. There is also another ship which was just brought, a new one, and the three. Two of them had actually been packed with the luggage and already left for Tanzania with fertilizer and maize and over 1,000 tons of fuel and of fertilizer and maize. And so the economic value of this particular place is just going to exponentially grow in the next coming years. Now, the president said that this is going to be one of the biggest long-term projects, having in mind that he has visited this place quite a number of times ever since it started its operations. And just having it in mind, the president is also going to be launching the Uhuru Market, which was also constructed at a cost of 200 million shillings, which is going to be launched today for the traders now to start moving in and having their trades. Most people were moved from the CBD of Kisumu, which has also been rehabilitated. That is the Kibuye Market. All right, they have been moved from the Kibuye Market, and it has been moved towards the new market that which has been built on a clean land. That is the Uhuru Market, which has been built at a cost of 200 million shillings. So moving forward from today, most of the traders will be heading towards that particular area to start, clearing the CBD and even getting the new face of Kisumu moving up and going. Now, another point, the exact particular place just behind me, probably you cannot see, is the shipyard, which was also rehabilitated by the Kenya Navy. Now, this is going to be quite important for the people here in Kisumu, because it has got a dock where most of the ships will be repaired there in case there's any problem. Initially, according to the government, they had a lot of, they had to go to Finland to repair the ships or even their yachts. But right now, everything will be done from this particular point. Now, that's an improvement, right? That's an improvement. And therefore, moving forward, the particular area is going to be managed by the Kenya Navy and the Kenya Defense Forces. But the government says that even the locals will be included in the managerial position of this particular point. Probably from the background, you can hear, the train is just coming, giving us a warning that, time to move on. Probably my cameraman can just come over here. Masharia, thank you so much. Just come. The groundwork is still happening. Up to that particular point, the ships which were initially, the whole of this place used not to have anything. They were just submerged in water hyacinth. Probably you can just even see some traces of water hyacinth down here, enough to tell you how this place was initially was. But as it is, things are moving pretty well here, pretty well. From the other side, probably just come, let me show you. That side, we have got one of the biggest ships which is being used for drenching. All right? I don't know if my camera can just zoom up to the other end. That mega and massive ship was being used for drenching. And it was meant to completely open this particular place as it is. All right? So, as it is, Maina, That is it. So the train is here, okay? That one. The locomotive is also moving from that particular point. It's going to be a very busy day. That is one of them. Such things never used to exist here in Kisumu, but as it is right now, it's up and running. Now that is an improvement. You know, hello, good morning. Yeah, that's just a way to say that, you know, they are up and running, and, you know, from the Kenya Railways taking care and taking charge of this particular place. Now, that is the only locomotive which was used yesterday to push these wagons into the ship inside there. And therefore, it's an amazing how this particular place has been moving and moving and moving. And just to have it in the next few weeks, in the next few days, in the next few months, or even years to come, it's going to be a long-term project for the government. And people can say it is in the heart of President Uhuru Kenyatta. How it's going to be happening? From around 11 or thereabout, the president will be arriving here at this port to flag off that ship, heading to Jinja in Uganda with tons and tons of fuel being transported, which again is going to be happening quite frequently. With this railway line already up and running as well, the fuel will be transported all the way from the depot in Kisumu, in Mombasa, brought here just to cut short that transport and that the timeline of the road transport to Jinja in Uganda. So in the next 2, 3 or 4 hours, the president will be here accompanied by other dignitaries. That is ODM leader Raila Odinga, who is also be gracing this particular function. And tomorrow is a big day, the Madaraka Day celebration here in Kisumu, that is going to be also happening at the newly built stadium in Kisumu. So KBC is here, part of the GMK, of course, a special edition, of course, from the lakeside city of Kisumu. We tell you, the only place to get the whole picture and first-hand information is here. So, keep it around. KBC is the channel to be. Jane, back to you. Part of the GMK, of course, a special edition, of course, from the city of Kisumu. We tell you, the only place to get the whole picture and first-hand information.
All right. Victor Olo right there. Those are live pictures of what is happening in Kisumu. Just a brief overview of that particular area he's in. This is, of course, the planned opening of the Kisumu port that will be happening today, among many other things that will be happening. There's also the scheduled launch of the new shipyard in that particular area as well. 22 wagons, each carrying at least 50,000 liters of petroleum. Such good works that are happening. Then, of course, all this will be culminating with the official commissioning of the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium, which is also where the Madaraka Day celebrations are going to be happening. We'll be sure to keep you up to date with all the events that will be happening down in Kisumu, leading to tomorrow's Madaraka Day celebrations. So stay with us as we stay up to date with all that and so much more right here on Good Morning Kenya.
Articles 19 to 25 of the Prohibition of FGM Act of Kenya 2011 criminalizes female genital mutilation. For decades, FGM has been a thorn in the flesh of women in regions where the culture exists. The practice entails stitching together partial or entire removal of the external female genitalia without anesthesia. The practice has left the girl child with serious health complications, some leading to fatalities.
Nimepata niko na FGM, nimepata mimba, nime drop out of school for 1 good year, then sasa nimeenda shule tena, kuna shida imeingilia, sikujua nimepata fistula.
Some communities have continued with the outlawed practice despite concerted efforts of various stakeholders that are geared towards a zero tolerance to FGM. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated the problem as schools were closed for 9 months, including those which served as a safe haven for girls. And with perpetrators curtailing efforts to end the practice, some women, anti-FGM champions, are not giving up on the war. Josephine Pasiani is one such woman who has demonstrated leadership within her community to end the vice.
They come here when they are quite very young, even the age of 12. And we have so many who have come here. They have never gone to school, and we take them to school. They start from class 1.
Rescuing girls, it's a risky affair.
One, because it's very risky, and so most of the people know us. So when they see us, you can be beaten.
During the long school holidays, House of Hope Rescue Center, which runs, admitted more girls who would have otherwise been subjected to the cut. Pasiani says rescuing girls is not a one-woman's effort.
We have a network. That is a network, and through that network we attend meetings like government meeting, anti-FGM, whatever meeting, the children's office meeting. So we work with them. Even we have a children's court department. So we have so many departments we work with the government.
The efforts of the retired teacher are now bearing fruits as many girls have gone on to succeed.
When they come here, they have different qualities. We have leaders. We have one girl who has become already a lawyer. She has finished her education. We have those who have done economics. We have teachers. We have nurses. We have sorts of leaders.
Mimi nyumbani nilikuwa napeanwa, nikasaidiwa na hii group ya Hope, nikakuja nikasaidika na nikapata sponsor, nikaenda shule.
Ulikuwa miaka ngapi
wakati huo? Na mimi nilikuwa na 14. Mahali alichukua shati kula.
Na alirudishiwa ama nini ilifanyika?
Alirudisha.
Ilikuwa ng'ombe ngapi hivi?
Ilikuwa ng'ombe 5 na kondoo.
House of Hope Rescue Center engages in farming for food sustainability and as an alternative source of income. She has also set up a textile center to help the girls hone their skills in tailoring. Despite the challenges, Pasiani has decided to soldier on.
Cases like they have already taken as wives. They are underage. They're supposed to have court cases. After some time, you hear that there was no such a case. Maybe this girl has been, somebody has said this girl is over 18. And actually they are 14 or 16 years. So they say that because they don't have any birth certificate, this girl is big. So the case goes like that. Even the FGM thing, the girl will say I was forced. And when they go to court, I don't know how it goes.
Though some community members do not appreciate her efforts, Pasiani remains unbowed.
I have so many perceptions. They say that you're not doing it for the girls. I think you're doing it because you want to have money or to get money from sponsors. We have them, so many others says, you're not doing because it's your passion. You just want to show off. So we have so many people talking about the program. But we don't care about what they say. what we care most is when I see a girl coming here and one day she gets a job and she starts sponsoring or educating their siblings. That is our joy.
Pasiani is happy to see more men joining the fight against the cat.
Kwa hivyo nafikiria ya kwamba kitu cha kwanza chairman ambaye tutashirikiana na wewe sana ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba mambo ya FGM kwa wasichana imekoma katika hii county.
According to the anti-FGM board, there are 110 recorded cases of girls who underwent the cut countrywide during the period of school closure last year. Pasiani is optimistic that one day there will be no such statistics in Narok County and the entire Kenya will be an FGM-free territory. Josephine Pasiani has taken up the role of rescuing girls from the retrogressive cultural practice of FGM. She believes that though it may take a while, the culture will be eradicated from the face of the earth with concerted efforts of the stakeholders to end the narrative.
The advent of the novel coronavirus pandemic globally has seen different measures put in place to mitigate the spread of the virus. With this, there has been an exponential increase in the use of face masks for protecting oneself against the virus. Among the people who have been using this mask despite them being a barrier in their communication is the deaf and hard of hearing. According to World Health Organization (WHO), hearing loss may result from genetic causes, complications at birth, certain infectious diseases, exposure to excessive noise, and aging. In Kenya, as stated by the Kenya National Population Census 2019, there are 918,270 deaf people in Kenya aged above 5 years. This is a significant number that cannot be ignored, and therefore we went out to meet and interact with this community to find out exactly how their lives have been impacted and how they're managing since the pandemic, as most of them rely on lip reading to communicate, yet they must wear masks. Abdon Nestor and his wife Elizabeth Agot live in Umoja Estate in Nairobi with their 3 hearing children, and through our sign language interpreter Stacey Dorcas, they talk to us about how challenging it has been since the onset of the COVID-19, especially in communicating with other people. We ask him if wearing of block masks affects communication among the deaf community, and this is what he had to say.
So it does affect, especially wearing of masks, because when you wear the mask, it blocks the mouth, and that's, if you're communicating with a hearing person, you are unable to see what they're saying because that person does not know sign language. So that's how it blocks communication.
And on learning in schools for deaf children, this is what Abdon has to say.
So with learning, for deaf children, there's really good brackets. For hearing children, it will be simple. Even if the teacher has a mask on, at least they can hear. But for deaf children, it's hard because they won't lip read. So if the teacher, for example, is writing on chalkboard, then how will the deaf children get to understand what the teacher is saying? If at all the teacher is showing the back. So that's why it's very important for the teacher, while using sign language, you have to have face contact, eye contact, so that even if the teacher will miss a sign, but the teacher will show it through the lips, then the children will understand.
Our next stop is Karobanki South Estate in Nairobi. Here we meet Maureen Wayego, a mother of 2, Anne Njoki, who is 9 years old and is deaf. Her son, Wilfred Kimani, is 6 years old, but he can hear. She talks to us on some of the challenges a deaf child can go through and how the transparent masks have been like a savior to her daughter, Anne.
Anita, nilijuanga nilinotisingi mtoto after 1 year to 2 akielekea 2 years hivi, nikiweka loudspeaker aski, nikiweka hata TV hivi mtoto amki, nikimuita itiki. Nikateka action, nikampeleka akiwa na 2 years sasa usi. Kwenda huko usi akapimwa hizo vitu zote akaonekana ni deaf. During this corona ni shida communicate na mtu huyu. Ama akiwa na hizi mask zingine ni shida tupu. Unapata mtoto anaangalianga lips venye pronounce venye unaongea ndio ajue venye ndio ashikanishe. Akiwa hizi zingine itabidi ana struggle, but akiwa na hii unajua venye mta communicate na yeye na tuna go through. Hizi mask zinasaidia kuliko zile zingine. Na sijui tunaweza zitoa wapi. Na si watoto wengi wako na hizi mask. Na watu ni wengi sana wako deaf. Wako wengi, ukienda manyumbani utawapata. Ni wengi. Na sijui tunazipata wapi hizi mask. Hata mimi nikupewa nilipewa. Unapata hadi shule sio wengi wako nazo, ni 2 peke yake. Na watu ni wengi, wako wengi kwa class. Wengine wako na zile zingine au wako na hizi. Unapata hata wangu wako baadhi yako na bahati ako na hii. Yeye hana shida ya kushinda akitoa communicate. Wale wengine unapata anatoa ndio. Unajua kitu ya first of all ujue mwingine na huyu mwingine huwezi jua mwenye ako na corona. Unaona? Unapata anashika hapa anajiguza yeye mwenyewe. Unashindwa mtu anatoa wapi ugonjwa, lakini ni ile kushikashika. But akiwa na hii, akiwa ameweka atashinda kitu ama akijiguza.
Our search for benefits of these transparent masks takes us to Homa Bay County, where we meet another parent whose daughter, a deaf child, has benefited especially in school from using the transparent masks. This is Triza Amambo, also a mother of 2 children, Blessing Waka, a 9-year-old girl who was born deaf, and her sister Precious Amunga, who is not deaf. Triza did not know Blessing was deaf until she was 6 months old. According to her, it has been a tough journey with her firstborn child, especially in communicating with other people during the COVID-19 pandemic that now forces everyone to wear face masks for protection. Her consolation came when a friend introduced her to the transparent masks.
Na nilinotice Blessing ni deaf akikuwa na miezi 6. Juu daktari ndienda kwa daktari akaniambia mtoto ni deaf na itabidi ukubali ni deaf. So akaniambia ningoje ikifika miaka 5 niende waniandikie barua ya kumpeleka shule. So nikaenda St. Anne's wakanipea barua nikampeleka shule. Kumpeleka shule nikaona at least ameanza kuimprove. Nimeona improvement sana kwa mtoi. Then hii wakati wa corona nimeona pia improvement, especially vile hizi mask zilikuja. Hizi mask vile zilikuja zimeleta improvement kwa Blessing juu communicate na watu hata shule na communicate na teacher. Pia teacher ameniambia kuna improvement sana. In fact kwa hiyo shule wanahitaji hizi mask sana.
Triza further explains how the transparent masks have been improving her daughter's life day to day, especially in school, compared to the blocked masks.
Zile blocked mask, Blessing as in our toto deaf, hata ungewaongelesha wakajua ni nini unaongea juu. Most of them wana lip read. Kiwaambia kitu naambia sign language but ukilip read. Kama cap wanaangalia mdomo cap. So hivi vile ilikuja at least iliwasaidia. Juu ukimwambia cap wewe pia umevaa hii na yeye amevaa hii inamsaidia sana.
It is clear that from some people of the deaf community that we spoke to, it is a double tragedy for them. The COVID-19 pandemic and lack of proper masks for their communication has been a big issue. Charles Okello, the founder and director at the Kenya Christian School for the Deaf at the heart of Umoja in Nairobi, saw the need amongst the deaf and hard of hearing community and came up with a solution. Special masks for the deaf. Masks that have plastic inlay around the mouth area that make communication through the lip reading easy.
Because you see, the deaf, for you to be able to communicate with them, they need to see the facial expression. If you are happy or you are not happy, the deaf can say through facial expression. So, and they have the lip reading. So, the blocked face mask was avoiding them from communication. So we realized that we need to come up with something which will enable deaf and the hard of hearing to communicate. So we come up with this clear face mask that enable them to express themselves, because not everybody speaks sign language, but if you happen to meet a deaf, whether you are skilled in sign language or not, they will be able to read your lips and get to understand what you are saying.
According to Charles, over 3,000 clear masks have been given to the deaf both in Nairobi and Homa Bay counties, which is the headquarters of the organization, for free. However, to audiologists, they are sold at a retail price of 200 shillings so that they can make some money to be able to make more masks and distribute them to other parts of the country, which remains a challenge.
Nikivai mask hivi, unajua venye nasema, na unaweza read my lips.
For special feature on the deaf, I am Sally Limo.
What's going on?
We know how much you hated Odie. We know how much you wanted him gone.
Wait a minute. All I wanted was to sleep in my own bed.
And to do it, you cast Odie out into the cold, cruel world?
We saw how you locked Odie outside last night.
Oh, I don't... Every dog has his day, Happy.
Nice, kitty.
Let's see what's on the news.
Ducks again? Jump back!
Kiss massive.
If I ever get off this chain, you're going down.
Everybody back up! I don't know how wild this thing is going to get.
Like this, we're gonna drop the beat, rock the house, get you up.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
It's time for us to give you some juicy, amazing entertainment.
Like everyone is just here to, have some good time.
Amazing. It feels so good,
Next on.
Sasa. Poa sana. Umekaa muda bila kuja hapa.
Si unajua last time nilitengeneza nywele vibaya sana.
Oh, na vile tumetunza vizuri. Kwani siku hizi ni pesa una ama nini? Tangu nikushuke. Chau.
Pesa ama shughuli.
Pita napiga. Ngoja kwanza niongeleshe.
Na haraka kidogo tafadhali.
Una haraka?
Unaenda wapi mama?
Msema wewe ni nini unafanya pesa yako wewe? Nini? Wewe lama. Na bado unaendelea kucheka. Ni nini? Mse unafanya ni kama umetoka kunyolewa na kiposho mil mse. Acha
Acha huo ni ungwana.
Tonight.
What else is there to say? Let's not turn this into one of those soap operas, okay?
It's not what it looks like.
Mr. Gah, sign my jersey, please.
You even have a pen.
I'm a big fan of yours. I've watched you for so many years. Thank you.
Go on.
I do. I will. I can't believe I finally met you.
I can't even catch my breath. I don't even have an ounce of energy left.
Save it.
What are you doing? What? Me? I can't.
Just go get James.
I really can't.
I'll play. Go, Kent. Put on your coat. You can't man down.
I am in Bungoma County, a county that has been listed among the top counties leading in the cases of teenage pregnancy in the country.
It escalated during the COVID season. That was the time we reached the peak and the height. We actually had about 6,000 cases plus. Those are the ones which we managed to capture.
Even these teenage pregnancies that we already have in the facility, those are the ones that came. We are not sure how many more are in the villages.
Meet 15-year-old Tessie, not her real name. Tessie was robbed of her childhood by a person a child would ideally look up to, her head teacher.
Mwalimu akaniita, akaniambia nimpelekee kitabu ya kamusi. Nilifika kwa darasa nikachukua nikampelekea. Nilimpelekea. Nikaniuliza tunaweza ukanipea yako, nikanyamaza tu sikumjibu. Akaanza kunishikashika matiti. Alafu akanisukuma na akafunga mlango. Na akaniangukia.
A rape incident that left her pregnant and confused.
Kwa kweli nikachukua mtoto nikapeleka hosi. Pili nilipeleka hosi, daktari akaniambia mtoto yako kuna mimba. Kweli nilistuka.
Nilisikia vibaya. Sikuwa nataka. Nitarajia tu nisome. Siwezi fanya kitendo kama hiyo.
Reluctantly, she coped. As if the pain of being defiled was not enough, Tessie lost her baby in unclear circumstances 4 days after birth.
Mimi nilikuwa nimetoka nimeenda toilet. Kurudi nipata tu anapiga ndera. Nilikuja kumwangalia. Kufika tibu kwa mlango na analala. Mimi nikajua tu amelala.
Tessie may not have a child to raise today, but she is nursing a wound that has refused to dry, with her long traumatic journey that appears far from over, a journey to seek justice.
Niende wapi? Kweli. Mwalimu angejua anataka kutubadilisha daa ama anataka urafiki mwingine, hata angekuja mimi mwenyewe. Mimi ndio huyu kulika aende kwa mtoto yangu mtoko kama huyo.
Sasa mtoto amekaa nyumbani bila kuenda shule, mtoto alijifungua. Maiti yako akumojari mpaka saa hii.
Mimi ningetaka ashikwe na apewe adabu. Asifanye mtoto wenyewe kitendo kama hicho.
Please let our policemen investigate correctly in any defilement cases that are taken. Because if they hide evidence, they record the wrong statements, we don't get up getting justice for these defiled children and defiled girls.
Several kilometers away from Bungoma in Kisumu County, we visit another home in Seme Sub-County. We share a light moment with these playful twins. They are 1 month shy from marking their first birthday. The two are their mother's so smile.
Msichana ndio mkubwa anaitwa Jacqueline Akinyi. Alafu huyo kijana ndiye anamfuata anaitwa Gordon Onyango.
14-year-old Nora, not her real name, introduces us to her twins. She got pregnant after sitting for her KCPE examination 2 years ago, but had to shelve her ambitions to join Form 1 to fend for her bundles of joy after their father, a close relative, jilted her.
Ile wazazi wangu waliniuliza mwenye alinipatia mimba, nikawaambia. Wakienda kumuuliza kakataa ati sio yeye. Saa zingine nakata kuni nauza, tunakula nayo. Saa zingine mama wangu pia ananitumania pesa kidogo, tunatumia.
She says it's a burden she wouldn't wish for any young girl.
Ningeambia wasichana wangekuwa mimi, sana wasichana bado wanasoma. Kafadhali waachane na mambo ya boyfriend. Boyfriend wanadanganya watu.
At a nearby homestead, we meet Becky, not her real name. She has just put her son to sleep. Time now to embark on chores.
Inabidi umeamka saa 11, hata saa 11 unakuja unajitayarisha, alafu unakuja ndio unaamvisha tena. Saa zingine imeshafika time ya kwenda shuleni. Amekataa yeye, bado analia, hata anataka maziwa. Alafu kwa masomo sasa huwezi soma usiku. Kama umekuja mimi ndio nimekuja napika, Mimi ndio pengine nikishapika yeye pia ako hapo na mbadilisha usiku analialia.
Becky is among thousands of teenage girls who got pregnant during the long school break occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mwezi wa 5 ndio nilikuwa nimegundua kwamba siwezi attend. Hasa venye niligundua hivyo, nilienda nikanunua ile test kit, nikapima, nikapata niko na mimba.
In Kilifi County, which ranked high in the cases of teenage pregnancies reported during the COVID-19 pandemic, we sought to speak to young mothers about their experiences.
Nilipopata mimba, nyumbani tayari watu wako hawajui tuseme. Mpaka nilipoanza kukua kubwa, watu wakaanza kujua. Walipojua marafiki na waka, yani marafiki, yani hanichekeki kawaida, kila mtu yani wanitenga hivi. Nikipita njiani ndo wananiangalia, wananisema.
She was also jilted by her lover and regrets adding another burden on the shoulders of her grandmother, who took her in when she lost her parents.
Alikataa. Sasa nyangu akaamua tayari tuachane naye, sema nataka na mtoto na mimi niweze kurudi shule.
Her story resonates with that of this 19-year-old girl whom we shall call Naomi. With her baby tucked to her back and a jerrycan of water, literally depicting the challenge of balancing between being a child, a mother, and a student.
Tulishikana na kijana mwaka wa 2017, tulifika mwaka wa 2018 kashika ujauzito.
For the last 3 years, Naomi's efforts to get child support from her baby's father have been fruitless. The tales of these teenage mothers exposes the vulnerabilities that girls from poverty-stricken families often go through, that often give sex predators an opportunity to win over them in their power plays.
Barani Mtwapa, Kilifi County. Here we meet Kadzu Muriani. Muriani is the mother of 6. She's also a grandmother. Her 2 daughters gave birth while they were in school.
Si mara kwanza, si nimekuonyesha chengine hapa. Kisha kwa kikubwa. Kwa hivyo mimi nimepitia, si mara kwanza huyu. Kile nilichokuonyesha kile, mamake yuko darasa la 7, nimelipa pesa za mtihani, ananiambia nikakalie mimi mtihani.
Her son also impregnated a girl who has since moved in with her baby. She now has to take care of 3 grandchildren, all under the age of 2. Muriani, however, attributes teen pregnancy in this region to high levels of poverty.
Mzazi pengine utakuwa huna mpango nyumbani, kwa kuwa ale ndio atamfuata baba kama huyu. Amwambie akimpata kama huyu, atamwambia twende kununulie viazi, ndio tayari atamfuata. Sababu wewe mwenyewe huku huna mpango, na akiangalia nenda kununuliwa nishibe, si ataenda.
Rebellion and sheer generational indiscipline, she says, is equally to blame.
Watoto wa siku hizi si kama wa zamani. Si kama sisi tulivyolelewa sisi, vile na waonavyo. Si kama sisi. Manake sisi wakati wetu tuwasichana. Hutakubali mamako aingie jikoni apike sima na uje ukae wewe ule. Alafu muache vyombo pale akavieke ama aoshe. Lakini wa saa hii unamsongea sima vizuri na amekaa, aje achukue sima ale na kuache hivyo vyombo.
She portrays a picture of a mother giving up on her daughters.
Sasa utaambiwa nipe simu, hutajua mtu anaongea na nani. Nipe simu, pengine nipe nicheze game. Haya unampatia, wewe pengine una kazi yako, hutajua inafanywa nini. Kumbe mtu yeye anapigia mtu wake, akimaliza kupiga. Kama mimi ambaye sikusoma, hata sitasoma hizo message zao, pengine zimefutwa, utapata nini?
In Ganze, we meet the family of Sikubali Mutoi. His 15-year-old daughter gave birth a week prior to this interview. It's not been easy for the family.
Niko nayo, nilikuwa niko kwa kazi. Nafanya kazi ya nyumbani kwa somesha wao. Sasa tangu juzi nimeketi. Sasa hivi sijui nitarudi vipi kule kazini kwa sababu sina mtoto na huyu atarudi shule. Na alikuwa huyo baba alifanya kazi Timboni, hawakulipwa tangu Januari, hajafanya kazi, amekaa hapa. Anasema kule paka pesa zake zitoke. Sasa mimi ndimi nafanya kazi kwa sanisa wao. Sasa hii nimepata mtoto. Sijui sasa atafanya njia gani hapo katikati.
At the Ganze clinic, I met these three men. They echo Mama Muriani's sentiments.
Sasa zile mila za zamani ambazo hapo zamani tulikuwa na makome. Makome ni ile dhome. Watoto wa kike walikuwa ikifika hiyo doni ile saa 11, saa 12 wanaenda chukua kuni, wanaweka hapo, alafu kuna wale wakina nyanya wanawapatia mawaidha. Sasa hizo mambo ni kama imeisha. Ni kila mtu ni .com. Ikifika hiyo jioni kilo moja ana mwelekeo wake anaenda.
Poor housing in this area is also another challenge that has seen children's sexual debut set in earlier.
Tuna upungufu wa nyumba ni ndogo. Unaona? Walala pale na bibi yako, watoto nao wanalala hapa. Unaweza kusema watoto wamelala kumbe wanakuona zile habari zako ambazo unazipeana hapo kwa bibi yako. Mtoto naye anachukua advantage. Unaona?
Mzazi wa kijana huyo una changamoto.
Sikubali Kazungu holds there's high level of indiscipline among the younger generation. This generation, these men say, does not listen to the counsel of the elders.
Sisi kama wazazi, unapoonya mtoto wako kwa kumshauri, inafikia wakati sasa mtoto hajasikia, inabidi umuongeze kiboko kabisa ndio akuelewe zaidi. Na ajue kwamba ni kweli huyu baba hili jambo hataki. Lakini sasa kulingana na sheria yetu ama katiba yetu sasa kufikia sasa ni kwamba mtoto ni kana kwamba hakuna vile ambavyo unaweza kuadhibu mtoto. Sasa hii hali ya kuboko kuondolewa kwa mtoto imetutatiza sana. Watoto wengi wamekuwa na viburi. Inakuwa sasa hata jambo ambalo wewe kama mzazi unale alifai analifanya kwa kiburi kabisa mtoto.
Other key contributors of teenage pregnancy in this region, according to Kenneth Miriti, who works at the Department of Health in Kilifi County, are cases of incest, fish for sex, boda who are perpetrators and enablers of the vice.
I have interacted with the boda riders who will tell me, you tell us we are the ones who are causing this problem, but we deliver the girls. So, like a person like me would send a boda to Mtuapa to bring a girl to Kilifi, and then in the morning, very early in the morning, he takes the girl back to. So the bodas are not only perpetrators but are also enablers of these problems.
In Kisumu County, Seme Sub-County, we met Thomas Mboya. He is a father of 5 and now a grandfather. He blames his daughter's predicament to the long closure of schools due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Corona katuletea shida ambao unapata kuna watoto ambao walipoenda kule walipotolewa shuleni walijipata kwenye maisha ambao za zingine inawaleta kuwa wazazi na wao pia walikuwa wangali wadogo. Sasa unaona mtu kama mimi sasa lazima niwe na mjukuu. Sasa na hali yangu inabadilika. Kama ilikuwa ni ya ujana, sasa naingilia mambo ya uzee.
Mother and child will also need proper nutrition, which puts an even bigger strain on the family. Regina Mulama, also from Kisumu, holds that the inability by parents to provide especially for their daughters is a contributing factor.
Tuseme hii mimba ni kwa sababu tu wazazi wengi hawana mapato. Sasa saa hizi tuko na shida mingi ya fedha. Unakuta mtoto labda anahitaji kitu fulani na sina hiyo pesa. Mtoto anaenda nje anajaribu kuongeleshwa na marafiki na anampea labda pesa fulani.
At the Pamoja CBO in Seme, Kisumu County, the organization, which has been in operation for the last 13 years, works for girls and young women between the ages of 10 to 24 in areas of reproductive health, education and sanitation. Judith Owor shares the struggles they face in supporting especially teen girls who need to go back to school.
We've had cases whereby parents are not able to support these girls to go back to school. And as an organization, there is nothing we can now be able to do other than just advocating for girls who are pregnant to go back to school, but with the parent part. Who is going to take care of the child? It is the parent's responsibility to now pick the part of being the mother to this child while her child is going back to school. So most of the parents find this difficult.
Tomorrow, on the third part of this series, we take a look at the teenage pregnancy statistics globally and also in the country. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 News.
Now, before we get to close today's program, just to remind you that we have our team down in Kisumu just to keep us up to date with all that is happening there. Earlier on, we did manage to have a conversation with Victor at the port right there. Remember, all that is going to be commissioned today. His Excellency is expected there after he did land yesterday in Kisumu at around 3 p.m. and headed straight to the residence of Mr. Raila Odinga. And so today, a number of commissioning and launching is expected to happen. Scheduled among that is the official flagship of the refurbished MV Uhuru vessel, which will be loaded with 22 wagons, each carrying at least 50,000 liters of petroleum that are set for Jinja in Uganda. There's also the rehabilitation that has been taking place at the port for the past 24 months. And people have been having speculations about this rehabilitation, asking when are we going to be seeing the fruits of all this hard work, the fruits of all this labor that is being said to be put into this place. So all that is going to be commissioned and launched today. There's also the launching of the new shipyard that is going to be managed by the Kenya Navy, that is estimated to have been worth 476 million. The Simu Island Container Depot and the Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium in Mamboleo, which is also going to be hosting the Madaraka Day celebrations tomorrow, is also going to be officially launched. And of course, this tour in the region is symbolic. Most critics are saying that this is a culmination of the handshake that took place between His Excellency and Raila Odinga in terms of unifying these two parts of the country, the Mount Kenya and the Nyanza region, and much awaited projects that have been happening over the past few years. Of course, there was also the anticipated train ride that was to take place from Nakuru to Kisumu. It was supposed to happen yesterday, but it did not happen. This 23.5 kilometer long track from Maimahio to Longonot was meant to connect the SGR and the newly revamped meter gauge railway. It's still incomplete as per what has been discovered by the Daily Nation. So as and when that is ready, of course, it is going to be commissioned. Part of the projects in this Nyanza regional block that, His Excellency has been key on seeing happen. Ray.
Talking about what we're going to be focusing on, that particular visit in Kisumu County. So much has been said about that particular, feat, being that Madaraka Day has been decentralized from Nairobi, and now it is a turn for Kisumu County and Kisumu Town to host that particular celebration. Albeit within the COVID-19 pandemic, the numbers will be reduced. Kenyans have been asked to watch the particular celebrations and proceedings live on our very, very own media houses, including KBC Channel 1, that is going to be bringing you that particular celebration, the Madaraka celebration, to you live. So much has been said in regard to the President Uhuru Kenyatta and the former Premier Raila Odinga's visit to Kisumu County. And I'd want to just take a few responses from various political analysts. I choose to go with Dismas Mokwa, who says that Uhuru's visit is also of sentimental value to both Raila and his followers. And he continues to say that Nyanza has had turbulent politics since the time of President Kenyatta's altercation with Jaramogi Odinga. And if you go back to history, there was a time where there was a riot where during one of the celebrations, and this motorcade was passing through and people ended up getting shot and some made. So this is turbulence that is partially to blame for the poor state of economic development in Nyanza. So we'll be keenly focusing on, after this particular visit, with even the developments that are going to be inspected there, what is in store for Nyanza region through this particular visit by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Well, it's a wrap. I'm Regina Manyara. Glad to have you've made time to be with us here on Good Morning Kenya. Same time, same place for comprehensive news, especially on what has made headlines in the last 24 hours. You can get further details on our website. That is www.kbc.co.ke.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
Je, unajua kuwa hata kama mapato yako ya kawaida yameathirika, bado unaweza kuzungumza na mtoa huduma wako wa bima na kubadilisha sera yako kuwa sera ya kulipwa? Hutaweza kulipa ada zaidi na bima yako bado itawajibika kwa mafao yanayolipwa chini ya chaguo hili. Sasa umejua, IRA, bima bora kwa taifa.
The greatest rally in the world is back in Kenya. Catch all the action of WRC Safari Rally live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 from 24th to 27th June. See the world's best drivers navigate their machines on Kenya's rough terrain at breakneck speeds. Experience the thrills, adrenaline, drama and excitement as man and machine do battle. Don't miss out. WRC Safari Rally, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
What did that idiot tell you?
Nothing.
Amaya, let's make a good start, okay? I don't like it when my wife doesn't respond to the questions I ask her.
What did he tell me?
Yes.
Nothing of importance.
Cover her mouth and shut her up. Hey, what are you doing, you idiot?
Hey, stop it! Oh, sweetheart, I don't want to end up being killed.
You got yourself into this kind of problem. You destroyed my life ever since I was a child, and you never had love for me at all.
Oh, it's not that.
And now you offer me as a bet?
He is your sister! Jose, I am your father. You and Constanza have my blood in your veins.
Every Monday evening, we take you back where the action happened.
We cheer up your Monday blues.
Our cameras rove all week to cover the latest in the enormous showbiz scene.
We show you what you missed even if you were present.
Grapevine gives 100% support to the local entertainment content.
From celebrity buzz,
music,
fashion,
and all manner of entertainment and youth talent.
Watch Grapevine every Monday at 10 p.m.
Remember what they say, if you did not see it on grapevine, then it most probably
never happened.
Next on
Mimi ndiye Dr. Chwa, Alwatan Chwa.
Mimi ndiye Dr. Sawasawa.
Mimi ni Dr. Ashraf mwenye hii hospitali.
Ashraf si lolote hapa.
Wewe daktari, hospitali ni yako kabisa.
I am the boss.
Okay.
That's all. Get passion.
Huyu mwanangu mimi namuona kulegea tu.
Afaa tumpatie tupa moja ya maji.
Haji asikioni.
Hii chupa moja mama kisha tufanya sahali. Lakini kama wengine tutatia lita 20.
Si majanga haya.
Get passion.
Basi.
Next passion.
Yuendesha.
Huyu ameuza bongo.
A very warm welcome to you. Hello and good morning in this very chilly weather here on Monday in Nairobi. We are at the Telposter Pension Scheme Annual General Meeting, and especially for you pensioners, this will be very beneficial to you as we are here to look at the benefits and the going concern of the fund going forward. And just to give you a short brief on this day, especially where we are, as you can see, we have a very good socially distant meeting because of COVID-19 restrictions. Of course, you know that the pandemic is still ongoing, so the pensioners will be watching us from home live on this channel and of course online. And also, just to give you a small brief on this function, we start with telling you, of course, about the scheme itself for the benefit of the viewers who are not aware, and of course, just to remind you where we've come from. And this scheme was established as part of a restructuring of the former Kenya Post and Telecommunications Corporations following the restructuring of the scheme that had seen three participating employers, namely the Telecom Kenya Limited, Postal Corporation of Kenya, and the Communication Commission of Kenya. Now, on various dates, these other corporations, of course, broke off, and then Telecom Kenya remained as the sole pensioner on this scheme. Now, this scheme always provides for the retirement benefits to the